You know, I'm going to be honest with you going into the December season with Weapon X and all of this, that I'm going to start recording the video to talk about next season using the information we have for the data mines right now. But as I'm starting this video, I realized I have not prepared for it. So I haven't sat down and theorized these abilities whatsoever at all. So I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to go off the cuff here and just guesstimate things, synergies. It's a live chat down below here on Twitch. So let's find out. Let's find out what December is going to be bringing us, because there are a lot of cards, more than I think last season, if I remember correctly, because there are multiple coming out in a new game mode, and then a late Series 4 release, and then it's a long month as well, and there's a lot here. But this is what it's all about. It's all about Weapon X. 2/2. After one of your other cards here, after one of your other cards is destroyed, no matter where, plus something power. I'm gonna guess +1 power. After every, read carefully here, okay? See that right there? RD. After every blankered time. So there's only one number that ends in an RD, and that's 3. So after every third time, see what I did there? Improve this effect by whatever this is. So improve the effect by the plus here. Now, looking at the code, added power, plus something power. This number here has to be the same as this number here, because that's whatever the code is going to be. So if it's after every card is destroyed, you get +1 power. After every third card is destroyed, improve the effect by 1. So it's either +1 +1, or +2 +2, or +3 it's not different numbers because of how this is coded and written. And what we know from this also is this is that new counter that we saw from Spider-Man Noir, where it's just counting how many times it's happened. So this isn't anything here. But looking at the text from the data mine and knowing second dinner, +2 +2, the card would be too broken. I'm going +1 +1. So to read it all together, after one of your cards here is destroyed, +1 power. After every third time, improve this effect by 1. So now break that down. You set up a lane that's Deadpool, Headpool, X23. Weapon X is down also at this time. You destroy that whole lane. Weapon X goes to +3, +4, okay, so now he's a 2/5. That's 3 destroys. Now you set up another lane of destroys. Say you set it up again. Deadpool, Headpool in the same lane as X23. And now you deathlock. Now Weapon X is going up by +2 for each of those destroys. So he went from 2/5 to 7, 9, 11. So now he's at 211. Let's say you set up another destroy scenario. You set up the X23, Headpool, Deadpool, and you Killmonger. So now he's getting +3 for each of those cards. He goes from 211 to 14, 17, 20. You see what you understand the rhythm of how he increases here, right? That's what he does. For destroy, this is a really cool card. This is a very cool card. But I don't know if it actually makes that destroy deck better. Because that destroy deck wants to do exactly what I said. Is Deadpool or Headpool or X23 down on 1. The other cheap destroy 1-cost cards on turn 2, which is a problem here for X23. Sorry, Weapon 20. Oh my God, too many X's. Weapon X here. And then you're destroying, and then you play and destroy, and then you play and destroy. So I don't know what the total value of Weapon X is going to be in that style of build. But then you think of decks like Morgan Le Fay, where you play him down on 2 and leave him alone, and you're destroying squirrels all over the place. Every time you destroy a squirrel and then get it back, you've got something to work with there, right? Those death decks that aren't necessarily a destroy deck, like a Deadpool destroy deck, that's where I see Weapon X getting value. Because if you get 2 7. Weapon X has done his job. Anything after that is gravy. Everything after that is gravy. I think that for Destroy, this is not going to be added into more Destroy decks that currently exist, but will reinforce the idea that you can have different focused Destroy decks. Similar to what Moira X did, I think Weapon X will also do. It will give another solid branch of Destroy. That's the Season Pass. This is projected to be the Super Premium Season Pass. It's a 4-cost skill, which sounds scary, but read it. On reveal, revive your highest power destroyed card here with its power doubled. So this sounds fantastic, right? Because, okay, destroy something from your hand. You know, destroy it off of the board. What wants to be destroyed? Let's think of something easy, like, I don't know, Black Panther. Somehow you ramp out Black Panther, destroy it, bring it back. Easy way to double. Sage, go back and redouble. Fire Lord synergies, absolutely. But the thing with this is that it's a 4-cost skill. That's expensive. I feel like this is a card you build around. This isn't a card you plug and play into other decks. This is I'm building an Adamantium deck. I'm building a Revive deck. So we mentioned Morgan Le Fay earlier, like that kind of stuff. That's what I'm curious about. Even something as simple as cards that you can re-proc their on reveal multiple times to scale, like Sage, like even something like a Groot. You know, those bring a lot of value for very low. And I think that that's worth keeping an eye on. So Adamantium Infusion is a build around card. You build a deck for this because you've got to destroy a large card quickly and then bring it back. So Kid Omega loves this card. Kid Omega absolutely loves this card because it's the same turn destroy on the same turn play. Even if you do something, yeah, it's like if you don't have Shuri and you have this, you can make something work. Like I look at something like Red Skull. Kid Omega Red Skull puts 14 power in the Kid Omega lane and then gives you a 28 power Red Skull where even if he has his negative effect and it's hitting 4 cards, it's a 420 revive. Okay. I am not too upset about that. I am not too upset about that. It won't work with Galacti. I see it in the chat there. It won't work with Galacti because the effect will have already happened and those cards are no longer marked. But I do think there's some cool stuff we can do with Adamantium Infusion, but it's gonna be tougher than I think people want it to be. Okay? In the same week, we get Chamber. Now, Chamber, Series 5 release, activate 2/3, by the way. It's a 2/3, cheaper card. 2/3 activate plus 2 power for each 5 cost or higher card you have here and in hand. Okay. This feels like a way too easy potential lane winner. Potential lane winner. Okay? This is a zombie Galacti card. Yeah, you heard me. You heard me. It's a zombie Galacti card. This is a Hela card. This is really, really insane. And I think that it's going to be fun. I do. I just wonder if it's going to be too loud. And what I mean by that is you drop it down on turn 2 and you're very clearly announcing this is a game plan of mine. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. even if you drop this down on turn 4, you're very much so announcing, this is my game plan. And I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Because on the one end, you could use it to your advantage by manipulating that mindset. I don't know. I'm not sure. The power on it looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The power on it being a 2/3 that could easily, without even trying, be a 2/5. 2/5 is solid. In today's world, a 2/5 is solid. You got to call that good. I just don't know if it's worth it, because you forecast a lot of your game plan when he's on the board. Wade Wilson comes out. So we're just going deeper into the Deadpool side, less the Wolverining of the whole season, but now we're going into the Deadpooling of the season. Wade Wilson, who I believe is a Series 4 release. Yeah, Series 4 limited time event, so he should come out during some kind of event in that first week. He's a 2/2. When destroyed, replace this with a 1-cost card from your hand or deck with +1 power. Okay, so obviously this wants to be a card that plays into Deadpool. That's what it's telling you it wants to do. It wants to be a Deadpool. There's a couple of things on this that I think people are gonna read through that I do want to highlight. Number one, this could potentially be deck thinning, right? Because it's replacement. This is not destroy. This is swap. So if you only run a deck with one cost card that regularly ends up on the board, I think that that's surprisingly good. Right? Because think of the cycle you could do with Deadpool. Actual Deadpool. If it's just Wade and Deadpool. You play down the Deadpool. You play down Wade Wilson. Destroy it. It automatically brings the Deadpool back to the hand. Then Wade Wilson destroys and pulls the Deadpool back down to that position while Wade Wilson goes to the graveyard instead. So it does create a little cycle. But at the same time, with all of these revive mechanics, I do think that there's some other things we can do there with cards like Elixir. We just talked about another revive card. It's a 4-cost, but it could do it. And then even outside of that shell, maybe there's something for Wade Wilson. Maybe there's something here that allows easy scaling because there's only one 1-cost card in that deck. I don't know. I'm intrigued by the outside uses of this card. Like I said, I'm winging this, but I'm intrigued by the outside uses of what this card wants to bring to the game that are not just Deadpool. Because I think the conclusion with him after testing him with Deadpool decks is that he's clunky. And that other scalar cards like classic Wolverine will be better. Versus Wade, where I think his outside uses will be found and exploited. That's where I think Wade Wilson will thrive. Let's move on to outside of week 1 of the new season. We move into Weapon H. Weapon H, without even reading anything else on the card, all I see is 714. 714. Hella Black Knight drooling on this idea. Drooling on this idea. Weapon H. When discarded, put this back with -2 cost. Okay. There's a couple of things outside of that. Every time you discard it, it just gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So if you can just discard this, maybe one time, just one time. That's all. Just one time. One time. He's a 5/14 with no downside. Do you understand that power? He's a 5/14 with no downside. This card single-handedly could kill Red Skull. in so many of those decks. But then take it a step further. Getting that down with 2 discards. Like if you play this in a Khonshu style build, a Dracula Khonshu build will feast having this card. Because this is, I'm sorry, this is stupid fucking broken. Like it is so busted. This is so busted. I think this card is incredibly strong. And let me be clear with this. I promise you, I have nothing invested in this card. But I think that that value, that cost reduction on that card, having it regularly keep going back to your hand. We've seen the strength of what an APOC can do. We've seen the strength of what a Khonshu can do. This is feeding into that. Like, how is this going to be bad? I think it's going to be one of the better cards of the season, unfortunately. I really do. I think it's going to be one of the better cards of the season because discard is a consistent archetype. Come here, Taxi. You can come join the party. It's a consistent archetype, and even outside of discard, it ends up having value. That's impressive. Get ready for Weapon H. Cersei's new best friend. All right. Let's talk about Marrow. Marrow, 2/3. I love this one. I love this one. Let me be clear again, and again. I love this card. Marrow, 2/3. When discarded or destroyed, randomly split -6 power among enemy cards. I think this is so fucking stupid in the best way possible. It's a 0/6 or it's a 2/6 disguised as a 2/3. Affliction loves this. Discard loves this. Destroy loves this. There's so many good things that this card brings, and it's so cheap. You know, like this is a really, really good card. Really good card. And with the right mechanics too, it can be done in multiple times. But remember this card, because based on what I saw earlier, this card might have dual purpose, which seems to be the theme of the season, because that's what Wolverine does. He's a dual purpose card. He works in discard and he works in destroy. Like Wild Child. Wild Child, 2/1. Ongoing power of +4. You get +4 power if you've discarded a card. Then you also get +4 power if one of your cards has been destroyed. So he has the ongoing potential to be a 2/9. 2/9. For a card that you just drop down, let it do its thing, and then you go do the rest of your game plan. These hybrid decks, I think, are very important. I've seen other creators try to mix destroy and discard in different ways. This whole season is based on that idea. And as we get more and more and more of these pieces, seeing the partial destroy, partial discard package get sprinkled to cross, like there's some cool things that can happen. And I like this. It's flavor. That's what I like about the whole season the most. It's flavor, right? Yeah, Dawkins, another one that enjoys both discard and destroy. But it's normally been an or situation. This is heavily encouraging the and situation. Just like this is the or situation. And situation. That's what we want. That's what we want, I think, more than anything else, is encouraging the and. Gambit. Easy discard too, by the way. But that's an enemy destroy. Then let's talk about the skill that you can, I believe, get from a game mode? Yeah, limited time event. 2-cost skill, the fastball special. On reveal. 2-cost skill. On reveal. Destroy your highest power card here to afflict an enemy card here with that much negative power. Okay. You see this? And then you see this? You see this on, and then that with, yep. You see how the season's coming together now, folks? That's what you're gonna want to do. That's what you're gonna want to do. It's gonna be a crazy season. It's gonna be a crazy season with all of these pieces. And the more skill cards we get, the more fun I think the game's gonna become. I know they're leaning very heavily into it, but it's pretty clear that it's gonna be a fun season. I think Fastball Special is a very good card, exclusively in these kind of revive decks, more than anything else. But I do think that there is another way to play this card. It could also be a cheap affliction card that gives you a backup plan for cards like Man Thing, right? You play a Man Thing down, and then they load it with negative cards. Sorry, not negative cards, with cards that don't get negatived. You have your 4 costs, your 5 costs, and your 6 costs. You could play Fastball Special and still hit those cards with negative power, because it'll turn Man Thing into an affliction by just hitting -7 instead. So it's a nice, it's a nice thing. It's a nice option for that deck. Is it its primary home? No, but it's something cheeky you could do. Maverick. There is a chance that Maverick is going to be, again, broken. Because this card is always double its value. It's always double its value. 3/3, activate. Give the next card you play power equal to this card's power. Now, there's one very specific thing about this card that will define its strength. One thing, and one thing only. Does the application of that power happen before the card flip or after the card flip? If it happens before, like Forge and Galacta, this card is busted. If it happens after, it's just okay. It's good, but it loses like 2 tiers if that's the case. I love this card. In a Surfer deck, of course, because it's a 3-cost card. It'll ramp up. You're getting extra value out of it. You know, Nomura decks are going to like this card very similarly. Scarlet Spider decks, gonna love this card consistently. It's a cool activate. It's a cool idea. And I love that they made it activate specifically. If this was like a 3-cost on reveal, that would suck. That'd really suck. But I think as a 3/3 activate, this is very well balanced for release, which means it'll be too strong, and then they'll probably drop it down 1 power later. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Aurora, and this, for my Disney friends, I know you can't unassociate it in your head. You can't unassociate it. Aurora. 6/6. On reveal, give one of your other on reveal cards at each location +2 power. Then repeat for ongoing, then repeat for activate, then repeat for end of turn. Okay. Break it down differently, right? You have your 3 lanes on the board. Let's, in some imaginary world, in each lane had Korg, Goliath, Havoc, Aranya. In all of the lanes, and then somehow you had a way to play Aurora. Just to give you the idea of a perspective. Remove a Korg, put in Aurora in one of the lanes. So you literally have one of each. Each of those lanes, it'll first do it for all the on reveals. Boom, boom, boom. +2, +2, +2. Then checks for ongoings. Boom, boom, boom. +2, +2, +2. Then checks for activates, then checks for on the end of turn. The total value of this card, potentially, in maximum play, maximum play, the potential of this card could be as high as 630. However, in addition to that, remember, it will almost never be a 630. However, a 620 spread over all lanes makes Dr. Doom seem like nothing. Really. This is a fantastic first step style deck. This is one that wants to be played with like Thing First Steps and Elsa Bloodstone, load up a lane. You have some extra pieces like that, right? But you specifically are missing a couple of categories out of her list, which makes her like if I just mentioned Elsa Bloodstone, those static abilities don't count as a proc. A lot of move cards like Jeff, I believe Jeff is one of them that doesn't have an ability listed as an ongoing. It's just his ability, but can move. I think overall, this ends up being a better Dr. Doom for most decks, except for, like the Storm Legion kind of shenanigans, or Cerebro 5, duh, but you get what I'm saying. There's some scary good things that could happen, and this is a very strong 6-drop. Like very, very strong 6-drop, which we don't see a lot of. This might outdo what Galactus First Steps did, which was bring 6-drops back to the game. I think Aurora could be more powerful. It really, really, really could. To add +6 into several lanes, plus the lane she's in. I mean, that can't be bad, right? You build Aurora decks with that in mind. Lastly, Phantom X. 4/6 activate. I already hate it. Let me be clear. That's all I had to say was 4/6 activate, and I already hate it. I haven't read the ability. You could have a gun to my head right now. I'm staring right at the camera. You could have a gun to my head right now, and I could not tell you what the card does. I already know, though, that it's a 4/6 activate, and I do not like the card. Now I'll read the card. 4/6 activate. If you've had cards discarded and destroyed, afflict front row enemy cards at each location with -2 power. Oh my god. Okay. Dear Glenn Jones, please take notice that Second Dinner needs to stop making 4/6 activate cards, because 4-cost activates do not work well in this game. Thank you. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, all of us. So, I think we've said enough there. Now, if you're actually going to make this card work for the season, it might work. For the 1 week, because you're really leaning into the discard and destroy, it might work. But man, does this card feel like absolute dog water if you don't get it to work. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, Spider-Man Noir. If you don't get it to work, it feels like dog water. It's a waste. And that's the problem. So, in regards to the whole season then, looking at the whole season, what am I most excited for? I think Weapon H is going to be insanely good for discard, as well as small discard packages. I think this is a very good card. I think Wild Child's going to be the most provocative in the sense that it will create great theory crafting for people. So it'll be fun to watch those come out, those decks come out. I think in regards to the season pass itself, it's very narrow. You know, it's very narrow. It's a very limited archetype. And when season passes do that, typically they're less successful. So this card better make a really big splash on its premiere. Like a really big splash. Otherwise, it's going to feel really bad. Because the whole season theming of discard and destroy is unique. It's leaning into what base Wolverine does, into all of these variations of Wolverine and lore and history, and you get the idea. I think the season will be fun, of course, as it always will be. But I think people will be pleasantly surprised by random cards. The ones that they normally wouldn't say, that's great, maybe. I think that this will proc people into trying things they've never tried before. I think that people are going to want to be more adventurous with these cards. And without saying anything further, I can really confirm for you that if you enjoy competitive Marvel Snap, this season will be indubitably valuable. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So what do you think of the season, folks? What do you think of this December season? You let me know down in the comments below here on YouTube. Let me know what you think. What are you excited for? What are you not excited for? Those are my thoughts and opinions, literally off the cuff. I hand to God, I did not really dive into many of these cards beforehand. I had heard of some of them, but looking at them truly in detail and giving knee-jerk full reactions to them, that's what this was. So I appreciate you all, and as always, I'll see you next time.